EssexTV is joined by head coach Paul Grayson today for a special interview with him about questions from the members themselves. The team's about to gear up for the Northamptonshire game, setting off soon. Paul, can I start just asking you why Alistair, Cooke and Ravi haven't done so well?
Good question. Both very talented players. I think we all accept that both pitches we've played on so far have been seamer friendly. Particularly the one here against Kent early season was quite difficult to score on. And at Lords as well. You have to say that Middlesex bowling attack was excellent on those 2 days. And unfortunately, not only Ravi and Cookie struggled, but a few other guys as well. One of the pleasing aspects is the way Jake Mickleborough and Tom Wesley played, probably our 2 youngest players. But we need our senior players to stand up this week. Listen, it's not through the lack of trying. The lads are working extremely hard in practice, and I'm sure that they continue to practice like they have been. Things will turn around very quickly. I'm already hearing a few people a bit panicky about the way we've played, but for me there's a lot of quality in that side, and we'll turn things around very, very quickly.
Toby Barrett also asks, should the fans start worrying about the team's lack of performance so far?
Not from me, not from the rest of the coaching staff. Like I said, it's very early days. I think we all recognise that the season starts very early and pitches have been ball friendly. I think Reece Topley and Dave Masters have been excellent with the ball for us. Unfortunately, our 2 backup seamers haven't been quite at the races, particularly at Lords that first morning when I believe we should have bowled Middlesex out for somewhere in the region of 170, 180. They got 100 runs too many. But we're all well aware of everything that's not happened for us so far. We've had lots of chats, but now it's all about performing, and we all know talk's cheap. It's about getting out there and putting some good performances together.
David Buxton asks, with the emergence of Reece Topley and our batting problems so far, with hindsight, would you have opted for an overseas batsman instead?
For one, the availability was very limited on the overseas batting front. 2, the championship is vital to us. I know 1 or 2 people don't think they believe me, but it is. With 8 championship matches in the first start of the season, we just felt we needed another bowler. We had Siddle signed up, which was going to be a terrific signing for us. That fell through, and then Tim Southey. And now we've got Lopsy joining us, who will be coming to the squad to play tomorrow. So we just felt we needed another bowler, and especially with Cooke and Bopara available, you put Walker in there, Foster, the rest of the batting order, we felt would be strong enough to get runs on the board this early part of the season. Unfortunately, that's not been the case. Listen, we're all delighted with the way Reece has developed over the winter and during pre-season, but he's still very young, and we don't want to put too much pressure on him.
David also asks, the new Tyflex ball that they've been complaining about, some of the players, why does it appear to be a problem?
Well, the Tyflex ball's been around for, I think it's 3rd or 4th season now, so we've played with it before when we've been in Division 2 cricket, so for me there's no problem with the ball. Yes, there's a slightly bigger seam on the ball than there is on the Duke delivery, but no problems, no excuses from where we've started. It's the same for both sides. We're just going to get on with it.
On a different note, what's your stance on players using Twitter?
Not happy with it. I know a couple of our guys posted a few things during last week, and I've spoken to those players individually, and I've asked them not to comment any cricket matters in the future, whether it's regards pitches, balls, selection, just not to even go there.
Okay. David Bristow asks, do you think Jake Mickleborough is yet a top 4 batsman, never mind an opener?
Very, very comfortable way Jake's playing. I think last year he showed some real promise. Played in Division 1 cricket. I think he averaged around the 30 area, and we firmly believe he's going to be a top order batsman for this club for many years to come. I think he started the season very well. He looks in good form. He's just been punished for a couple of mistakes so far, and anyone saw him play at Lords second innings last week would have seen a real talent. Okay, he didn't go on and make a big score, but he looked in very good form, and we believe Jake has got the technical ability to bat anywhere in our order from 1 to 6, and that's a belief right throughout the club.
David also asks why we can't finish teams off. It's been a regular habit so far, and not just this season, he reckons.
Well, I think that's the case with a lot of sides. You know, the balls get a bit softer, and in the past, maybe teams didn't bat all the way down. You know, now you've got 8, 9, 10 jack, all work at the batting. You know, not everyone bowls in the side, but everyone bats. So teams do work hard on the batting. You know, and teams may get a little bit tired and say the ball gets a bit softer, the wickets get a bit flatter. Yes, it is frustrating, and sometimes particularly the game against Kent here, first innings. I don't think we quite went for the juggler enough. You know, we had an opportunity to really bowl Kent out for a sort of 180, 190, and we didn't do that. So it's an area we're going to look at. But I'm aware of his point he's making.
Andrew Gold asks, the tour to Barbados happened quite close to the beginning of the county season. Has this hindered the team in any way and at the start of a long summer? And what would you say the main benefits of the trip were?
Well, I've no problem with the tour. I thought it was an excellent trip away, 10 or 12 days, working in good conditions, hot conditions, good fitness levels. We played some good matches. You know, with the integration of 2 or 3 of our younger lads, Reece Topley, Tymel Mills and Ben Fawkes. We try and make that transitional period from academy cricket to second team cricket to first team cricket as quick as we can and as easy as we can. So those 3 lads showed us that they're ready to play. As far as when we got back, we had 2 or 3 days outdoor practice, and then we had a 2-day match against Worcester, and then the 3 days against Fenners. So in terms of our preparation, I'm very pleased the way everything's gone so far. But obviously the matches haven't gone as well we liked. So really happy the way our preparation's gone.
Nat asks, have we got a spinner lined up for the second half of the season?
At the moment, you know, obviously Tim Phillips is our number 1 spinner, backing up by Tom Wesley's off spin as well. So I think stats show last year in Division 2 cricket, the leading wicket taker was Monty Panesar with about 50 wickets. And then after that, the regular finger spinner was about 30 wickets, someone like Robert Croft, I believe. So spin doesn't play a massive part in the first half of the season. You know, obviously we've got Lopsy in now for the championship. Scott Starris is joining us for the T20. Listen, if there's money in the budget to try and bring a spinner in for the second half of the season, and we need one, then that's something we will discuss as a group.
A number of supporters don't believe that promotion in the championship is number 1 priority. Is there anything you could say to the fans to further convince them that this is the main target?
Well, I've said on a number of occasions that it's the most important competition to us, because you find out about your players, who the most consistent side is, and listen, I'm desperate for us to get back up to Division 1 cricket, and so are the players as well. And maybe that pressure already, you know, on the players has made 1 or 2 people not perform. So, you know, we're not looking at the big picture. The most important thing is that we go back to basics this week at Northampton, get some runs on the board, get some partnerships going, get some confidence going, and I'm sure we'll turn things around very quickly. But you know, we enjoyed that experience last year, Division 1 cricket, and we showed last year that we can play that in that format and in that level as well. So it's up to us to get back there again, and hopefully the next few weeks we can get some good results together.
Obviously, there's only been 2 4-day games so far. Has these 2 performances changed your view on how the team should go about approaching the longer form of the game?
Not at all. Happy with the team, happy with the squad. Good set of lads to work with, day in, day out. Our work ethic's excellent. You know, good characters in the dressing room. We've had a little bit of a blip. It does happen. It happens to the best sides, and it's all about bouncing back. And like I say, we're looking forward to the game this week at Northampton, and looking to get some points up there.
Mr. Tracy asks, when Alistair goes off to England, who will be opening with Billy?
Well, it's something we're going to look at. Mark Patini's an option. I know Mark's done it a little bit in the past, so we've sort of looked at Mark possibly doing it. Jake Mickleburn's got a good technique to possibly do it, and also Tom Wesley as well. So you know, there are options there. Okay, we haven't got the biggest squad in the world. I think people need to appreciate that. You know, we've only got 18 and 19 players on the staff, and the budget is not endless. You know, we can't just keep going signing players. But there are batsmen there who can bat anywhere in that order, and that is their responsibility. If they're asked to open the batting, then they've got to go and do it for us. Galboy
has posed the question of what other spin options for the 1-day games do we have this year? If Tom Wesley is the second spin option, what happens if one of these 2 get injured? Who is the backup spinner?
Well, Phillips is our number 1 spinner, and obviously Tom's our second spinner. And I think, you know, looking at performances last year, particularly at Chelmsford last year, spin does play a part, but not a bigger part as it used to do, because the boundaries are so small here. You look back to the Kent game last year, our seam bowlers bowled well, and Mark bowled Tim Phillips, and one of those overs went for a big score. So it cost us really. You know, I think we've got options with the spin, and if you think that Scott Styrus is a very clever bowler in T20 cricket with a keeper stood up, Ravi, and we'll have Tendo as well. So guys that can take pace off the ball, who are clever bowlers, will be able to do that for us. So listen, if one of those spinners do get injured, we may look at an overseas option or look at other counties for other lads that are not playing in other teams.
Poddy has asked, what do you expect Owe Shah and Tendo to be back playing for Essex?
Well, as soon as they're knocked out of the IPL, both are out there at the moment. So whenever they get back, they'll come back straight into the side. Obviously, two top-class players who we miss. Any side will miss those two sort of lads. So I say, as soon as they get knocked out of the IPL, they'll be back playing for Essex.
How much cricket do you think Reece Topley will be able to play over the summer?
Well, Reece wasn't going to play this game at Northampton. You know, we've got to be very mindful how young he is and what his workload is, speaking to the physio and the fitness coach. And the view was that he would play at Lords and not play at Northampton, but the fact that that game only went 2.5 days, he's not tired and he feels very fresh. So he'll be in the squad for tomorrow with a view to playing, and then he goes back to school, and after that we'll just monitor it. But he's done terrifically well, you know, 2 5-wicket hauls his first 2 championship matches. But we as a group need to identify when he plays, the right conditions and the right surfaces, and you know, we'll do that.
The final question from our members is from Stephen Holt. What would you say to members who haven't yet renewed and yet convinced us to part with their money?
Well, I think there's lots of cricket to be played, and I think anyone who's been an Essex member the last 4 or 5 years, we try and give value for money. We try and play some exciting cricket. We're all disappointed by our start in the Championship, but we've still 14 games to go. T20's round the corner. We all know that we're a good one-day side. So good place to come back into the side. And I think if you look at our lineup at the moment, we should be proud of the fact that we're playing English lads. No overseas player apart from Lopsy coming in now, but all of our lads can play for England. And that's what we want to do. That's what we want to achieve. We want to give our younger lads the opportunity to play, and we'll always do that.
Well, thanks very much, Paul, for your time, and all the best for the Northamptonshire game. Thank you.